Hey guys, and welcome to episode 22 of my Funny Island series. And in this episode, we are moving on from the last episode where we actually made a value of 23 mil. And in this episode, we're going to see how far we can keep going and move it up from there to get towards 30 mil. So in the last episode, we started moving serious amounts of the Robes of Darkness, and Flare Trousers as well were still coming in clutch and providing probably the most GP we were making in the episode. And as you can see from this episode, it is still going to be the case. With the Flare Trousers, we are still managing to pull a 150k margin. Sometimes you can go up to about 250k if I leave it to flip overnight, and hopefully the items become a bit more low volume, but we are getting a minimum of about 150k per flip. Other items which are doing really well, the Katana has picked up again and is doing a lot better than it did, and the robe tops are also sort of coming in a bit better than what they used to be. The Robe of Darknesses were getting a bit slow to buy, so we pulled out of them and just going to go through the God Robes again. Just cycle through the items which are working best and just see what we can make from them. I am pretty sure by the end of the episode we will get back into the Robe of Darknesses and other items like that. But for the time being, this is what we're going to go for, and hopefully they can just go a bit quicker than what we have been. And if there's any items which are sort of slacking behind or getting a bit slow, we can pull them out. I'll let you know what we're going to replace them with, and we'll update you with any extra flips or anything we find in terms of a decent margin. But that's going to be the episode, and we'll go from there. But as you can see from there, the Ancient Robe legs did have a bit of a very high sell price, so this is what can happen. So we're going to throw in a very high offer and see if they sell. So that was a classic example of what happens with these God items or these clue scroll items. The Ancient Robe legs has been an item which really hasn't sold very well for the past couple of days, and it's something we've been sort of stuck on, but we've persisted with just because it did make enough to get by. And all of a sudden, it is now selling above 141k. And there could be no reason towards that, there could be a reason towards that, but it just shows how these spike. It pretty much happened with the Gothic Robe legs a couple episodes ago, and that's why we're just going to put in that offer 181k. If they sell, great. If not, we can always bring it down. It's just giving our a chance to make that high profit margin while it's there. So we're going to try and PC a Robe of Darkness. Like I said, we will be coming back to it eventually, see what margin it makes, and we'll come back with an update. So the Darkness items weren't working quite as well as what I would hope, so this is what we're going to end up going for, and we're going to put an offer in for a armor robe top for 7 of them. So we're pretty much going to go Katana, Flare Trousers, and God items for that, and we actually get some buys and sells. So a lot of the items did buy and sell for what we needed them to, and the Gothic Robe legs actually sold again. These have been a silent, really good item for the past couple of episodes, and they've actually got a decent margin on them. They're still pulling over a 10k margin, which for us on these clue items is probably what we aim for minimum, and while they're working, that's fine. The Robe of Darkness legs, I forgot to mention in the previous clip, absolutely crashed. So it's about 72k when they're normally at the high 90s. Now this is a possible investment opportunity because I am pretty confident it will come back towards that 90k sort of area, but just for now we'll keep flipping and I'll keep an eye on prices by constantly piecing. So coming back, we have 23 mil in the GE, 3 mil in the Invo, so we're doing not too bad, 26 mil value, and still the Flare Trousers are working. So as you can see, we're always trying to see where we are in terms of margins because we are in a little bit of a period where stuff is moving quick. We've moved into the Sara robe top, which is, along with the Zami, the most expensive of the robe tops, but it just shows you how much money we now have available. And yeah, we'll put an offer in for that as well. So in the previous and earlier episodes, I didn't realise how quick it was to look at your history, but now I've finally been told how to do it. It is so much quicker. Katanas have bought as well. We're going to put in that sell, still putting about 30k margin on them, so they're really, really good. And we'll update you on any sells. So no surprise, but the Gothic's Robe legs were the first ones to buy. Picked them up for 99k and selling for 125, so that is pulling 26k margin each. And the Sara robe tops, which we did manage to buy, we managed to sell most of them. Again, this is what I do when I only have one item left. If it's going to take time to sell, I'd rather just put another offer in to buy and just sell 9 later on. We've managed to pick up those armor robe tops as well, and they're going to be sold as well for pretty much about 15-20k margin, and we picked up some Flare Trousers. So rather than wait for the 2 more additional trousers to buy, we're just going to take them 5 out, put them in to sell, and if we can find anything else to do with the spare cash, we'll put in some offers. So logging back in, the Flare Trousers have all sold. So off that 5 Flare Trousers flip, we probably made the best part of 600-700k. which is massive. All we'll do again is just go in for the same price, another 5, and see how quick they can buy, and we can put in the offer to sell. So buy offering for 152k for a buy, so just going for a little bit higher just to make sure we can try and get the priority for buying. So flare trousers are a bit of a random item between the clue scroll sets, and it's a bit of a different item compared to the others. There are a few items similar to it, like the Fremnik kilt, which I have been trying to get into, but it has such a small margin compared to the flared trousers. I think the flared kilt is about 4.5 to 7 mil at this time. It does fluctuate a lot, but whenever I try and get a margin at the time, it can only seem to get about 30 to 40k, but it's such a slow buy. So that might be something we come in later on when we really have spare cash, but I think the 4 mil would invest into it. I can do a lot more than a 40k flip. So that could be something else. There's a few other little niche items as well which work really well. The ham, which comes from beginner clues, and the spike manacles as well. But that could be something we'll come in later on, as long as they work for us better than what we're already doing. So as you can see, we do have 2 offers in for katanas. They actually went really low on the buy price and went down towards about 130k for a buy. And we had some to sell as well. So because it was a 60k margin, I've taken out some stuff for the G slot, which was, I think it was just 1 robe top, and we put in a full offer to buy at this 132k margin. So hopefully it does. If not, it just shows that this is what can happen with clue scroll items. It can go so low volume and so cheap, and it's when you need to know the sort of margins you can pick up it and the prices which it does sell for. Jump in and get it at that time to get the best chance of a margin. So some time's gone on and we managed to sell all of our katanas for 195k, and we bought 6 at about 132k. So if that works, that would be a 60k margin per katana, and that's basically a free 350k. We've managed to pick up some more Sara robe tops as well, which we'll put in and sell hopefully for a decent margin. I think we'll get about roughly 25k for the robe top. The robe tops are a lot more profit than the robe legs, but they do take up obviously more GP, but we are not really struggling for that in a minute. Flare trousers have slowed down a bit. I think more people are beginning to start to flip them, so that stops me buying as much as quickly. So what I do is just keep checking for a price check. But it's similar to how the katanas are. They have suddenly spiked a bit, which is why we're struggling to buy them here. So we'll just go for a big check for the price check and work out what's best to sell for. Normally, if the price has gone up in terms of a sell, it'll be a much higher buy price as well. So it does all sorts of work, and we'll put in a offer for 7 flare trousers, which will hopefully fill for the next episode, and we'll be able to see how much margin we can get from it. So in this episode, we've actually seen quite a few price spikes. The katana, which spiked throughout this episode for a 6k margin, and also the ancient robe legs, which did spike for about a 70k margin, I believe. But as you can see, we managed to sell them earlier in the episode, and we're putting in a offer back to what we were buying before, and we can see if any more trends like that happen. But that's why dialing in on certain items is a lot better than having a much more scattered approach. Once you realize what it's selling for and its selling potential, you can always highlight when it's cheap and when to put your money in and when to really go and invest heavily. So another one we identified earlier in this episode was the Robe of Darkness bottoms. They were very low. It's about 70k, 75k price, and they normally do sell between 95 and 99k. So maybe in a future episode, once we've got a bit more spare cash, at the minute we're sitting on 5 mil, we're getting really close to a 30 mil value. Once we pick up a bit more, maybe we can move into a bit more of the investing way and start picking up bulk items and bulk sets of the Robe of Darkness legs. And hopefully in that time they can rise in price and we can be able to sell them for big profits or something which can be sat in our invo. So this is going to be the end of episode 22. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like. Any comments and suggestions of flips, I'm always looking to sort of change up what we're doing, because I do feel it's getting a bit samey. Hopefully soon we can move into third age, but that'll be for another episode. But if you enjoyed as well with any other content I've provided, please subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.